What's up, Browns fans? Welcome to the Dawgs podcast. Let's kick this thing off.
Welcome to the Dawgs podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Zach Kopp, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs Christmas edition. As you can see, it's very festive in here. Browns are 10-4, which some might consider a Christmas miracle. I know I do. Before we dive into this episode, just a quick reminder to check us out on the AGA app, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, do us a favor and give this episode a share. Help us reach the masses, spread the good news that the Browns are 10-4. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and tap that notification bell so you know when we upload new episodes. Lastly, if you haven't had a chance yet, head on over to Thrive Fantasy. Use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, to get a 100% match up to $50 when you deposit at least $20 or more. I've been playing contests pretty much every week, and I'm still up about $70-$80, so I'm doing all right.
What's awesome is you can play on the single games. So like if there's a Thursday night game or like on Christmas, you can play just that one game, the Vikings and Saints. It just makes it that much more fun to watch.
Yep, I completely agree. So the key to the Thrive Fantasy is get into your first contest, win $75, then you can just play dollar contests for the next 75 weeks.
Right.
So it's super fun. Check that out. And if you haven't had a chance, check out our new merch store. I know a couple guys who've ordered hoodies off there and some of our new T-shirt designs. They love them, and they're getting them in, pretty quickly. It's not taking forever, so check out the merch store. Like I said at the start of this episode, Browns are 10-4. And going into this Giants game, I said it felt very much like a business trip for the Browns. I know for me, coming off of the game against the Ravens, even though we lost, we were real high. This is kind of a tough game to come into. I know it was Sunday night, but there's no fans in New York. It's just you're coming off a super emotional game. Almost felt like a little bit of a trap game.
Yeah.
And we came out and we just took control and just business-like, just took it to them, got in, got out, got a win, and got home. And I was impressed to see the Browns do what they do again. Didn't lose. Have we lost 2 in a row yet this year?
No,
I don't think so.
So like we never seem to hit. We're not hitting that slide where it's like, oh god, here goes the season.
They call that the Pittsburgh slide.
Oh my god.
There you go. Hey, that one's for you guys. That one's for you.
Before we get into, obviously there's some really good things on offense. I got to give a huge shout out. Chris Hubbard goes down second play of the game.
Yes.
And first of all, I was already depressed that Wyatt Teller was out.
Yep.
In my opinion, Pro Bowl snub.
Yep.
I mean, I felt like there was multiple that Browns could have been on the Pro Bowl this year.
Browns are 10-4, and we had 3 Pro Bowlers, 2 Pro Bowlers?
Yeah.
Batonio,
Miles, and Chubb.
And Chubb, yeah.
3, so 3.
I don't know. I feel like Baker would have been a Pro Bowler if you'd have played.
If it wasn't for those weather
season,
games,
the way he's played the last 3 games. But to get to my point, Nick Harris comes in. We talked about him in our draft preview at the very beginning of this year. Backup center. He's not even listed as a backup guard.
Right.
And I remember when he came in, I was like, man, they got a tough defensive front. This is a tough spot for this guy to come in. He held his own all game.
There's just one play where he got beat by, I think it was Lawrence on the sack on Baker. But other than that, the entire line for being down, you think about it, could be 2 starters. They played really well.
Yeah. I mean, another young guy, and that now we know that he can step up so it doesn't – because normally it's Hubbard that we're shuffling around
everywhere.
on the line, which –
he's going to be out a few weeks at least.
So you bring in, Nick Harris, he's only 22 years old, and the only thing that I notice is he's so much smaller than all the other linemen. He's only 6'1".
He plays super gritty and tough, though, in the trenches. I like the kid a lot. We talked in the preseason that we liked what he could do, and he stepped up big time, and I think he's going to get the start again this week, so we'll see what he can do. And that just, as we're making a playoff push, just to see that what kind of depth we can add. And what about Bill Callahan? Is this kid ready last year? If this is last year's team and we got to plug this guy in, he's getting whooped. He looks like Cam Irving.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh. So it's it was great to see. Obviously, we got to get into Baker. He was hot in this game, and he played well.
Yeah, please tell us about Baker. Please.
Blake, I'm worried about you today.
Yeah. Zach, any thoughts? Let's hear what he has to say.
3 weeks in a row now, he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. 27 of 32, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown.
No, he didn't have a rushing touchdown.
He didn't?
Nope.
No.
Oh, no, that was the Ravens game when I typed this up. My
That's
bad.
fine.
It's all blended together.
That's
Sorry. I typed this up together on no sleep
that's
today.
fine. That's
Give me a
fine.
break.
I was going to correct you before the show, and I forgot.
I will say, I
wouldn't
think
have.
he was over 300 yards at one point. He got up over 300, and then we threw a screen pass for, I think, negative 4 or 5 yards, and he went back under 300. But
it was a one-half game. I mean, really?
I think we only had 7 possessions. And this was, not a great rushing game for the Browns. And this was, I think, at the beginning of the season, we talked about teams were eventually going to sell out to stop the run. It just took longer for teams to do it than I think we thought it was going to happen. And now we're seeing the last 3 weeks, these teams are selling out to stop the run, and Baker's torching them. He's shredding them. He completed passes to 8 different receivers. Again, he's spreading the wealth. I know I won't say anti-trade Odell, but I've been very much, I'd like to see it work with Odell.
Man, wow.
I'd like I'd like to see it work with Odell. I don't want to trade him, but if they came out and they traded him for somebody great on defense, and I'm not talking like a role player on defense, I'm talking we turn Odell into a stud on defense.
So
I might be a little sad, but you won't hear me complain.
So okay, question
Look at this. He's coming around.
We're gonna look into the future here. Come out next year, looks like the same Browns offense that we saw, in the past game, the first couple weeks into next year. Are you saying, hey man, what's the common denominator here of why we looked bad, and it's Odell?
Must be the coaches.
Right. So it'd be interesting next year. Obviously, if I want Odell to fit too.
Absolutely.
He's a huge weapon that I feel like we got. I feel like sometimes the chemistry isn't there between him and Baker, like a Hollywood Higgins, like that chemistry. And I think that some of the coaching staff is probably thinking like, man, Odell's too good. Like, we have to get this guy involved somehow. So it's almost like they force the issue, and it just brings everything else down.
I almost feel like these games without Odell, though, with Baker playing so well, it's kind of the, when we got Odell, Baker, he had a great rookie season, but he wasn't really established in the league. Now if Odell comes back this year, this is 100% Baker's team.
Right.
I feel like the pressure to get Odell the ball is less next year than it has been at any point, because, he's going to go on to he's establishing himself this is his team. He's, right.
I like that you keep saying that this is Baker's team. Baker's team. Just it's not nice hearing you say that.
Yeah. Listen, hey, I was doubting Thomas for a while.
Geez.
That being said, all along I said I hope I'm wrong, and I want him to be the guy. He just had to show it to me. In the last 3 weeks, he's shown me. I don't count the Jacksonville game, because after that Jacksonville game, I wasn't that impressed, even though his stats were okay, because he had those terrible throws that kept him in the game. He's eliminated those terrible throws. Even his interception against the Ravens, I didn't consider a terrible throw. No. I thought it was more of a great play by the defensive guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look scared in the pocket anymore. It's like a light flip switched.
I think there's things happening.
A light switch flipped.
There you go.
I think you're seeing him. I mean, Cleveland Browns fans, you're seeing the evolution of Baker Mayfield every week, like game to game. But I think that there's a very nice balance going on where he's comfortable with what the coach is doing, and then Stefanski has given him just enough where he's comfortable with what he can handle, and it's working. I was watching the game, so I literally have been terribly sick, guys, the last few days. Not COVID. I think it was just like a stomach bug. But I finally got to watch the game this morning where I wasn't in bad shape. And play calling wise, I never knew what was coming. They were so balanced on the play call where even where Baker was just chucking it, it was good.
I'll say this, not a great rushing game for the Browns, but we still had 30 carries.
Yeah.
And Baker only attempted 32 passes.
Super balanced.
Even though the run game wasn't what we're used to seeing out of the run game, he didn't go away from it. And what makes our pass game so dangerous is they talked about this all preseason, like the marriage between the run game and the pass game. Yes. If you watch our plays, a pass play looks like a run play, and a run play looks like a pass play. So these linebackers and these safeties, they're keying on those linemen, linebackers are supposed to read guards. A lot of DBs, they're reading off the tackle into the backfield. They're looking at their feet. But our line is playing so well, everything looks like the same. So they can't read any keys, and it's just leaving people wide open. Rashard Higgins, 4 catches, 76 yards. He averaged 19 yards a catch. Jarvis Landry had a Jarvis game, 7 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown on 8 targets. Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to get his 100-yard game. We're going to get it for him.
He's trying.
Yeah, 3 catches, 55 yards, averaged 18.3 yards per catch. Njoku had a catch. Harrison Bryant had 2 catches. Nick Chubb 2 catches. Kareem Hunt 3 catches. Austin Hooper had a good game, 5 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown. I like Austin Hooper a lot. We signed this guy to a big contract, no ego. Some games we use him a bunch. Other games you don't even know he's out there, but he just goes about his business.
Oh, he's blocking. He's got a
your
job
tight
to do.
end. I mean, he's your typical, your prototype, what you want out of a tight end. Not this, great route runner but he can't block. You want a guy who can do both, and he might not be, and he can do it great. He can do both things great. Most of the time, you're like, he's a really good blocking tight end, but stone hands. We've seen some of that in Cleveland before. We've seen Njoku was like the opposite. Couldn't block, but he was athletic and still had stone hands.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Speaking on that, we talked a little bit this year, though. How about Njoku this season has really stepped up his game? He's got an 88.3% pass block rating this year. I mean, I don't know what it was in years past, but I imagine it wasn't sniffing the 80s.
Right. Now, he's a guy that I think I'm not sure what's left on his deal where he's at, kind of maybe one of those like, hey, I'm playing for next year or I'm playing for the year after that type of and that's fine because if we win it all this year, that's fine.
I like where your head's at, man. Wow.
So,
hey, there's only one thing left to do. When the whole bleeping thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, hey.
If you don't know what movie that's from, you can't be my friend.
Yeah.
But I did want to say with Baker, how we're saying, last couple games, he's really stepped up. He's playing a lot better. He's 5th overall in QBR in the whole NFL.
Yeah.
5th.
And everybody
so
talks.
He's playing great, these last couple games. But really, I mean, that's over a 14-game stretch.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So his QBR and stuff all year has been good, but when I watched the game, I still saw a panicky pocket. I still saw throws against Jacksonville where he just throws it over the guy's head. His accuracy wasn't there. Now he's stepping up in the pocket. Look at it. In this game and in that Ravens game, there were times where the rush was getting to him, and he didn't bail to his right.
No.
Right.
He stepped up in the pocket.
Well, and another big thing, another big stat that I saw when I was, kind of breaking down our stats so far through 14 games, Baker's been sacked 18 times. Okay, last year in the 16 games for the whole season, he was sacked 40 times last year.
That's crazy.
40 times, almost twice more than twice as many. I know we have a few games to go, but that's insane. And so when we're talking about, he was jumpy in the pocket wanting to get out of there, no wonder. Because
we said he had
that
PTSD.
that Carson Wentz treatment. Like Carson's going through what he had to go through last year of you just get hit a lot.
Yeah. And I guess it was just taking him longer to get over that than I wanted. I thought, coming in, our line's great. He should be comfortable. He should be good to go. Maybe I was being impatient, but, joke's on me because I'm happy to say that it looks like I was about 1,000% wrong.
Yeah.
Because he is – if Baker had played the way he has played the last 3 weeks, I know he's played, pretty decent all year, but these last 3 games, he'd be in the MVP discussion.
Yeah, he's playing amazing, and I know we've been giving a lot of credit to Stefanski, and rightfully so, but Alex Van Pelt, right, the quarterback coach?
Yeah, OC.
Yeah.
The OC.
Now,
Who's the quarterback?
He
Who am I
was
thinking?
a quarterback coach. I'm not sure, to be honest.
They have an offensive assistant.
Either way, it's because he was the quarterback coach for Aaron Rodgers. That's what it was.
Right.
So was it Chris Collinsworth or whoever was talking about how he actually had Baker make some of those small changes to his mechanics, like shift. Now he's got his left foot forward when he's taking a shotgun snap rather than his right foot. Just small things and tweaks that are, setting him up to make better passes and to be quicker in the pocket.
It's kind of like the small things and the details that are important that weren't getting coached last year. And that's what's being focused on this year. And the little things add up to the big things. Mm-hmm. You can't go out and just throw 60-yard bomb touchdowns every time. And Baker's taking what the defense gives him. He's not forcing it downfield. Tom Brady-esque. We watch Tom Brady will just dink and dime you It's like death by 1,000 cuts if you're
Yeah.
the defense. What do we do? How do we stop this? And Baker's just spreading the ball around. And next thing you know, they had 2 95-yard drives this game.
Yeah, they were the first. I think they were the first team this season to do that. Where
Yeah,
they had
that's what they said.
Yeah.
2 95-yard
crazy.
drives.
In the same game, yeah.
Well, and everybody always talks about like, oh, Baker, the completion rate's not that great. What? I mean, literally the last few games. I mean, he just
85 or 87% of his passes this game,
crazy.
franchise record.
I saw another funny thing somebody put out there and said, because the Steelers just got beat by the Bengals, and everybody's like, well, you all want to get on Baker when he had that great game against the Bengals.
Right.
Yeah,
The
it's just the
garbage
Bengals.
Bengals. The 2-10 Bengals. This one's for you, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You guys got 2 great teams out
Against
there.
this Bengals team, Baker was 22 of 22 at one point, or 22 passes in a row, 5 touchdowns, game winner.
Yeah.
This same Bengals team just held Big Ben, I'm pretty sure, at the half. I know he had negative fantasy points. At one point, he was
-12.
like, 2 of 13 or something for negative yards? and a
Negative
pick?
12 yards. Yeah.
A pick
and
and
a
a fumble.
fumble. And a fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Bad.
you know,
I mean, it was awesome.
I know it was awesome
you
for us, not awesome for my wife's fantasy team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, boo-hoo, Kiva.
Yeah. Sorry, Kiva.
She's watching right now. She's probably going to be really mad.
Yeah.
But so Baker, you know, we can't say enough great things about him. Hopefully he continues this trajectory because this is a glow up and I'm here for it. I like it.
Yeah.
So I think we got to move in, you know, to the defense a little bit. I picked this to be a closer, higher scoring game because of what I've seen from our defense. And then we come out and hold them to 6 points.
Yeah.
Well, they sort of held themselves.
Yes.
To 6
Yeah.
points.
First drive of the game.
Can we talk about the
Right down the-
Freddie Kitchens
let's
play
talk
of the
about
game?
it.
Yeah, but
Right
here's
down the
that's
field.
that's special teams though. Freddie Kitchens doesn't call that play.
I don't
He's
know.
playing calls, man.
He drew
That's a
it up.
very
He probably drew it up.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, I know we're at the what yard line was that? 4-yard line. Let's run the punter out there and act like we're gonna punt the ball, and then no, just kidding, we're passing it
To the center.
Yeah,
That's who they threw the ball to.
I don't think Freddie Kitch diagrams or calls that play. That's
Oh, I definitely think it was
that had
probably in his,
vibes. That had
in
vibes
his,
of 20,
his color
2019
book.
Listen,
Cleveland all
the
day.
Giants head coach is a former special teams coordinator, and the head coach has the
Man.
calls on if you're running fakes and stuff like that. Like the special teams coordinator might be in his ear saying, "Hey, let's do this," but the head coach has final say. Especially if you're the backup offensive coordinator, you're not going, "Hey, Joe Judge, watch this."
Hey, we're about to run that wrinkle I told you
got
about all
something
these
for
weeks
you.
ago.
I don't
So-
know.
Man,
That
it-
looked
so
so Freddie-esque.
That
It
was
was like,
very
there was okay, maybe he didn't
Just a
make the call, but
coincidence.
there was some Freddie
Yeah.
in the play design.
I
Yeah.
saw a thing
you
though
know?
that said Freddie Kitchens still struggles. Look how bad
He was-
look how bad the Browns were in the red zone last year when he called plays.
Yeah.
Look how bad the Giants were in the red zone this game.
They left so many points on the board. Like it
Yeah.
looks like don't get me wrong, you watch the game and it was a very one-sided game.
Well,
but it
but-
could have been closer.
I mean, you would have thought that they were in the running for the number 1 pick. The way they were just not trying to score.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the other team, but they ruined that.
And a big thing was, I think, in this game was what we held to him running the football. I thought that was key.
Yeah, I thought Wayne Gallman was going to have a good game.
Wayne
against us.
Gallman, you know, Alfred Morris, he's like 4 or 5 years removed from being a Pro Bowl running back.
Yeah, him and RG3 took the league by storm.
So you know they just didn't get that running game going, and I think that's kind of what the Browns came into. Hey, if we stop these guys from running all over us, we're gonna make Colt McCoy beat us.
Maybe I'm just nostalgic though, but I kind of like seeing Colt McCoy play football.
I liked seeing him play for the Giants.
I
I'm
liked
glad he
playing
wasn't on our
against him.
team.
I liked playing
Yeah.
against him.
He was 19 and 31, 221, no TDs, no picks. I mean, that's
Yeah, not a terrible game. It
no.
wasn't terrible.
Colt McCoy is a good quarterback to have on your squad if you know,
Yes.
like, hey, if something happens to starter,
He looked like
Yes.
Peyton Manning out
He's like
there pre-snap. Post-snap, he looked like Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
But pre-snap, he's doing his pointing, screaming Omaha.
Everybody says that. I feel like there's a bunch of quarterbacks that say that now.
Yep.
Peyton should have got that,
Patented.
copyrighted that nobody could say that word. But Colt McCoy, he didn't look terrible. But
nothing
just like
special.
when we came in, the Giants just aren't that good. They're just not there. They're missing a lot of people. You're missing, your starting quarterback. You're missing Saquon Barkley. If they put these pieces together, they're a different team.
No, but
they're a 500, I'd say, team with Barkley's there.
The defense isn't terrible, and this is a team that did. Now, granted, they're not looking that great lately, but they did beat Russell Wilson and the Seahawks a couple weeks ago.
Yep. They so I think I said this last week on the episode, though. Did we know how good their defense was? Everybody's talking about how good their defense was, but they played a bunch of bad offenses in that stretch. Mm-hmm. And I think we showed if they are that elite, like everybody says, the Browns' offense is next level.
Well, and that's what I'm going to talk about here is because I do think that New York has a decent defense because we know Baltimore does too.
Yes.
We racked up 42 on them.
The Titans' defense is, we talked about not great. And so to put up 40 on them, we were like, okay, we should be able to do that. They're
right.
But then the Ravens have a good defense.
See, and that's the thing. Yeah. Like, we've been saying all year, okay, Dallas, we put up a lot of points. They suck. All these other teams, the Bengals. But we've been putting up 30-plus almost every game when it's not raining. You know what I mean? So I think our offense is actually that good, guys. I think we can believe that.
I saw like 2-3 days ago, the only team, Stephen A. Smith, depending on what you feel or not feel about Stephen A. Smith, said the only true threat offensively right now to Kansas City that can go play for play with them is the Cleveland Browns. And I was like, oh, man.
I don't like Stephen A. Smith, but that's tangled down my
The thing is, when I'm watching Baker now, you see that guy that from the rookie year that you're like, oh, okay, he's going to be a stud, he's going to be elite, and then last year it didn't happen.
Right.
Now, the confidence is.
He looks better now in the last 3 weeks than he's looked since he was at Oklahoma. He looks so confident in the pocket, and the biggest thing for me too is his accuracy's back. Baker always kind of hung his hat on being the most accurate quarterback, and we weren't seeing that for a season and a half.
Well, and that's what they were talking about Sunday night, too, was they were highlighting how Stefanski's got these plays, and it's all designed around getting Baker to move because he's so comfortable throwing on the move. So he's getting him out to his right, to his left. He's kind of...
We joked that we didn't think he could bootleg to the left.
Yeah.
He bootlegged to the right. Literally every time.
Yeah.
I never saw him bootleg to the left. I didn't know he could do that.
Right.
He can. How big it too is like last year there was a lot of passes that went off hands.
Oh yeah, so many drives, especially the interceptions.
He's throwing bullets. Except this year they're catching him.
There's a reason Antonio Callaway's bagging groceries at Giant Eagle or Kroger or wherever he is, because I would have cut him at halftime of that Niners game last year. And so back to the defense. How nice was it having Denzel Ward back? I think you saw a huge difference in the second. I know we were playing Colt McCoy, but we made Mike Glennon look good. Right. So there's, I expected Colt McCoy to come out and maybe play decent against us, especially with the weapons they have on the edge. Golden Tate, Slayton, Ingram.
Yeah, they got some athletic guys. It was definitely nice seeing, and every time they went at him, he was all over. It's not like he was busting coverage like we see some guys do. I think I was going to pull it up here for pass deflections. He's towards the top, and the guy has only played 11 games. So he's the league leader is Carlton Davis in Tampa Bay with 18. And then actually Giants, James Bradbury, who has 17, is in second with Xavier Howard. And then Denzel Ward is fourth in 3 less games with 15.
It's crazy.
So, the guy is crazy. The guy really is crazy good. But it's just, can he stay healthy? I saw somebody tweeted out that they called him the Ward and don't throw the ball over towards the Ward. And all I thought was hospital Ward that Blake mentioned just a few weeks ago.
So I guess it's cool to be called the Warden, but then when you're also the hospital ward,
yeah.
We just need him to stay healthy, man, because he's a difference maker, and you could tell just in this game that they weren't shredding us like they were. And did it help that Sendejo wasn't in?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of, you didn't see people flying all over the already tackled guys and diving into piles and things, but
right.
Redwine played, and I didn't see any busted coverages. So maybe it's time to let's ease in some Redwine, ease out some Sendejo. Maybe that concussion lasts an extra week or two.
Yeah.
Just to see what we got in Redwine, because I didn't notice any busted coverages.
And another guy that I thought played really well was Carl Joseph. He led the team in tackles. Yeah. There was a couple of times, key situations, where he was up towards the line and he filled the hole like a linebacker. And, he's not going to pop somebody and knock them backwards. But just, those little things. I was wishing, Giants have Blake Martinez. What I would do to have a guy like him on our defense that makes every tackle almost on every single play.
There you go. Odell pretty much says he wants to be back in New York, I think.
Send him back.
Let's get Blake Martinez.
There we go. Right there.
I would take that.
I'm praying that Delpit is that kind of guy for us.
I hope so.
Man, I hope so, because we need a playmaker in our secondary, and we need a linebacker. I put this in here. Mac Wilson was a DNP coach's decision. They asked Stefanski postgame why he didn't play, and just said, my decision. And they started the rookie Jacob Phillips. So Mac Wilson might be on his way out. And I
haven't been impressed with him. And, I know he's coming off an injury and all that.
But he misses so many tackles.
We kept thinking, we're going to get Mac Wilson back. When's Mac Wilson coming back? And he hasn't been that it factor at all.
I think the Browns have a bunch of guys who would look really good around a number one. We got some really good role-playing linebackers, but we need that guy who can affect the game, who can stuff the run, who can run sideline to sideline, make tackles, and is just an animal out there. We don't have that on our defense right now. No. We got a bunch of solid – it's almost like we got a bunch of Joe Schoberts. And I love Joe Schobert, but
I would take a bunch of Joe Schoberts right now.
I was just going to say that he's top 10 in tackles on the year.
Yes, but there's a difference
30 more than our top tackler.
There's a difference between tackles in meaningful tackles. 6 yards downfield tackles for linebackers don't impress me.
Yeah.
Guess what? That guy's getting 6 yards of carry now because Joe Schobert's making tackles at 6 yards. We need a guy who can fill the hole. We need somebody who can put somebody on their butt.
So let me ask you this. Who, off the top of your head, do you know of anybody on the New York Jets defensively that would kind of fit that mold? Because they have a lot of cap space in this offseason. I know Odell's owed a lot of money still. So whoever, if we trade him, is going to have to take on.
Didn't they just sign that dude from the Ravens and then didn't he opt out?
CJ Mosley.
Yeah.
CJ Mosley.
There you go.
He was good last year. They were super big on him. They gave him a lot of money to go there, and then he got hurt. He opted out this year. So they're probably like, man.
I kind of keep harping on the whole Odell thing, but I mean, whenever you got to kind of look at what these guys are saying, on social media and stuff anymore. When he says, I'd really planned on playing my whole career in New York. Well, the Jets are in New York.
Yeah. We'll trade you back there.
Not to get crazy, but they're not going to have Trevor Lawrence anymore because they're dumb.
No.
Do you imagine though if they traded for Zeke, drafted
Odell.
Trevor Lawrence, and then we traded him Odell?
Well, Sam Darnold could totally succeed in that kind of offense without Adam Gase.
Yeah, they got to get rid of him.
Yes, we're going to get into the Jets, but I'm not bailing on Sam Darnold for any of these other guys other than Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let's just say Sam Darnold is not that great, and I don't know how you felt about him coming out, but I didn't think he was that great coming out of USC. And I kind of think that he lived up to that expectation.
Here's the
of
thing,
not
though.
being that great.
I think he shows glimpses and flashes of how good he could be.
When?
He shows times in games. He makes some throws. He does.
Now, I will say he has nobody to throw to.
No, he has no. And here's the thing. We thought Ryan Tannehill sucked. And Ryan Tannehill, if you go look at his stats since he became the starter in Tennessee, has been the best quarterback in the league.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I remember some of the same weird stuff happening with Tannehill in Miami when Gase was there, kind of these injuries popping up, and then he wasn't starting this week or that week, and it was like they were just didn't really know what they were doing. And that's kind of what's been happening to Darnold. He's injured here, he missed 2 games here, Joe Flacco's in. Now Darnold's back, and it's like, what are you guys doing?
I think you got to get. I think for Trevor Lawrence, you bail on your quarterback because Trevor Lawrence is.
Well, good for Jacksonville because they don't really have anybody to bail on.
That was a home run pick.
That team's going to be all right next year with Trevor Lawrence. With Robinson at running back, you just found Robinson.
Yep.
I mean.
Undrafted.
Yeah. And he wasn't even the top guy. Who was their top guy? He got hurt at the beginning of the year.
Was it
Zigbo?
Yeah, it was Zigbo, yeah.
So, what a jewel you found there just sitting on your bench and having him. And then you got Chark, you got Chenault.
Yep.
I mean, they got some young guys.
Colin Johnson looks good.
Colin Johnson. I mean, they got some pieces there. They just got to figure out their defense again because their defense is
Miles Jack.
great.
Now there's a guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
He'd be sweet to have.
I'd take a Roquan Smith
Yes.
from Chicago.
Yep.
I mean, the guy's a linebacker and has 17 tackles for loss.
We don't have anybody like that now.
we
No,
don't.
nowhere even close.
And really, in my whole life, I mean, other than Myles Garrett, but Myles Garrett, he's got his hand on the ground.
Right.
We need somebody. We need a linebacker, a guy in the middle of the defense. We've never had anybody like that.
No.
Who's the best linebacker we've had? I mean, what the guy who ended up going to the Colts?
DeQuell Jackson.
DeQuell Jackson. But
And
even
how
DeQuell
great was he
Johnson-
really?
We got him
Like,
at-
he was just
yeah.
playing for Cleveland.
Again, DeQuell
Yeah.
Jackson. Again, he was kind of just like a high tackle guy, but none of them were. Somebody has to make the
Hey,
tackle.
I'll tell you what, I was watching the Saints on Sunday too, and then I saw Demario Davis out there, and I'm like, oh, man, that guy is still a monster.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the offseason. Again, I want it to work with Odell. But if somebody starts calling us and they're like, listen, we got a stud linebacker with your name on it for Odell,
Yeah.
I can't sit here and say I've
Well,
turned that
and
down.
that's the thing. You can't, because we can also invest in a decent wide receiver in the draft, because there's a lot of good kids coming out this year. We know that Hollywood is stepping up. Peoples-Jones looks good. We got Jarvis.
Yes.
We've got the tight ends, which we utilize heavily. We've got Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb can catch the ball. Our offense is sweet. So even if this year doesn't pan out the way that we're all like, oh, please let it do this, they put together even a half decent defense in the offseason. Watch out next year.
If we put together a top 15 defense, we're almost impossible.
Sure, middle of the pack. We just need a middle of the pack defense because our offense is top of the league right now.
I think the longer that you sit on Odell too, his value just keeps going down.
Which sucks for us because then if we do want to move off of him, we're not going to get back what we gave up for him.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we just need to go, hopefully our front office pays attention a little bit this college playoff. Like, just pick. You just close your eyes, pick one of them Alabama linebackers next year in the draft.
That's what I said.
You don't even got to just close your eyes and be like,
They probably got 3 or
and
4.
he's a starter next year.
Yep. Yeah, so I completely agree. So that kind of wraps up the Giants. I want to move into this Jets preview and then a little bit of just kind of playoff talk.
Sure, because there's not a whole lot to look at with the Jets.
No, I do have a couple things to say about this, though. One, I think one of the best things to happen for the Browns was the Jets won last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of catches our – they didn't just win, they beat the Rams in L.A.
A top defense.
So that kind of, now hopefully we're not sleeping on them. And I actually watched a little bit of Stefanski's interview with the media this morning, and he was talking about if you watch that tape, you saw how much effort they played with and all that stuff, and he showed our guys and brought to our guys' attention, like, hey, these guys aren't going to lay down. This is the National Football League. They, they're not the ones tanking for anybody, and that's gone now. That's out the window. So, because you better believe Jacksonville's not winning the game now.
Oh,
They secured the bag. They're not giving that up.
Glennon might start this weekend now.
Did you see the mayor of Jacksonville came out and said we got an early Christmas present from New York.
Yeah.
So we might get the first pick.
Yeah, so they're
winning.
Yeah, they're not winning.
They're not winning.
I think it was very big that they won a game. So now that catches the Browns' interest. Like, oh, dang, anything can happen if we sleep on these guys.
The coach might get fired. Doug Marrone, I think it's still down there. He'd be like, hey, you win one of these next 2 weeks. You ain't coming back. Just so you know. We'll bring somebody else in. They might already.
That'd be like
Crazier things have happened, though.
That'd be like somebody who won the lottery and then they're broke in a year. It'd be
Yeah.
like, that's what happens if you're Jacksonville and you win another game.
Right.
You just won the lottery. Don't go broke. So I think it's important that they won a game, keeps the Browns' attention. And I think it's important we don't look past these guys. We can't be looking on to Pittsburgh. We can look on to Pittsburgh, which we're about to do. But the Browns players, coaching staff, they got to keep this one game at a time. We got to go 1-0 this week, because if you lose to the Jets, all of a sudden your season goals are very much in jeopardy.
Yeah, well, and I love the situation we're in, and you guys all know how much I've grown in my faith with this Browns team, because before the season, I'm like, okay, I'm pumping all the brakes. I'm Mr. Caution, because I've seen this go downhill so many times.
I'd just like to say real quick that we're real close to me and Zach's 11-5 prediction.
Yeah, just
and I
saying.
think
we're there.
we might,
And we might eclipse it.
If we finish where I think we predicted us to, it's a disappointing end of the season because I think I had us at 10-6.
10-6.
I would be crushed.
I'm just glad that I'm already out of the running for that.
Yes.
Thank God.
We're glad you are too.
Now I'm sitting here
Absolutely.
saying that I'm not worried as a Browns fan about trap game. I'm not worried about them not getting up for the Jets because they're the Jets. I've seen what Stefanski's got this team doing.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to keep rolling.
My confidence is sky high with him, with Baker. I mean, these guys are playing like, I mean, they want it. You can just tell they want to win.
Yeah, in this game here, I think we come out. I think we're gonna win fairly easy. Because I don't think their defense can stop us at all. So I just hope that it's not one of those games, where you get up big in the first half. You're up by 3-4 touchdowns on your at halftime. You got this big lead, and then you just kind of slow down in the second half. We've seen the Browns do that, right? I'm not saying I'm worried about the Jets are going to come back to win. I'm more worried about, hey, let's not stop this momentum that our offense is clicking right now going into next week.
Yep.
I don't want to slow down the second half. Then all of a sudden, we've lost all that momentum we've had the last 3-4 weeks building up to the Steelers.
No, the way we played, like you said, Blake, the way we played the Giants was perfect. Business trip. In, do your business, get out.
Yep. Let's
no
get
messing around, no slacking in any facet of the game. Just handle it.
Kind of reminds me when, the Buckeyes play, Purdue the week before Michigan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Illinois the week before Michigan. Like, let's just get in, handle our business, and then move on to the game.
And get out healthy.
Yep. And get out healthy. It'd be kind of sweet. Let's get like a 3-4 touchdown lead, and let's get like Myles Garrett out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'll shout out Myles Garrett big time because they kept showing him on the broadcast and stuff, and he's still dealing with the effects of COVID because it has that effect on some people. It does, and you can tell he's out there giving it everything he's got.
He's got to get oxygen a lot on the sideline.
Yep, and I mean, just to see him still out there, just trucking along, smashing into these big giant offensive linemen, getting after the quarterback. I mean, that's what I'm saying. These guys are playing hard. They all want to win.
How nice is it that there's something worth playing for? Myles Garrett's not playing in these games for 6 and 10.
No.
So the fact that our goals are still alive at this point in the season is just, it's awesome. It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah. So going into this game, I think Jarvis Landry is going to have a breakout game. They're down to the third cornerback to guard in the slot. So Jarvis should, he should eat there in the slot. And they just lost Quinnen Williams, their best defensive player. He's out for the remaining 2 games. So he's out for the year with a concussion and neck injury. They just lost him. So, some of their brighter pieces are out. So, I mean, we just got to really go in there, like you said, take care of business, and then just look ahead to next week.
Yeah, I obviously didn't watch the Jets-Rams game because I had a life to live. I had paint to watch dry and grass to watch grow. But I pulled up the box score of that game thinking, they won this game. What stands out? What did they do well in this game? I don't know what they did well in this game, even though they won. Sam Darnold, 207 yards passing in a touchdown. Sacked 2 times for 11 yards. Frank Gore, 23 carries, only 59 yards. He averaged 2.6 yards per rush. Their second leading rusher was Sam Darnold.
Oh,
5 carries for 18 yards.
Johnson's
so,
nice.
I mean, you look at this game, starting drive, good drive by the Jets, 13 plays, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Then they got a blocked punt, short field, they took 4 plays to get a field goal. They went 4 plays, 6 yards, get a field goal. So they go up 10-0. Next possession by the Rams, they throw a pick. They get another field goal off that. So you're up 13-0, and you probably have 90 yards of total offense at that point. So turnovers, really, it was, and then they had a nice drive in the second half, but that was to open up the half. But that was it. So they really didn't wow you. You can't turn the ball over, which that's with any NFL team. You give them the ball inside the 20 twice, you're probably gonna lose.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, Sam Darnold's a better thrower of the football than Colt McCoy. Defense still makes me nervous. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a shootout because of our poor defense. And then I pull up this box score and I'm like, Jamison Crowder, was their leading receiver with 6 catches.
And then a poor man's kind of not really poor man's, maybe just because of the team he's on, but a Jarvis Landry.
And then their second leading receiver was Chris Hardman. Isn't he their tight end?
Yeah. Yep. Now of course he catches a couple passes. Now I had him on my fantasy team to start the year.
And then Ty Johnson was 6 catches. Their running back. And then so nothing. The very bland. They got nobody.
Yeah, I mean,
this roster is depleted of talent. There's not much talent anywhere.
So look at that roster. So I got it pulled up to the box score. So I got the New York receiving on one side. I got Los Angeles on the other. You got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, Josh Reynolds, just loaded with
even
talent.
Gerald Everett.
Yeah, Gerald Everett. Just loaded at wide receiver. So it's like
and they're loaded at running back.
Yeah, they're like almost like a 49ers. Maybe not as good as a running game as what they have, but where they can just like. Who we throwing in this week? Cam Akers, all right. Darrell Anderson this week. All right, Malcolm Brown, you want a few carries? It's, yeah.
You get a carry. You get a carry. You get a carry. But so
whereas on the Jets side, it's Gore.
Yeah,
yes.
we're going to feed the rock to our 87-year-old running back this week. So yeah, this just Browns come in, take care of business. Don't look over these guys. It's the National Football League. Anything can happen. Obviously. They just beat a very good Rams team.
Yeah, a playoff.
Yep.
Playoff
so
team,
if you want your goals to still be alive after this week, which we're going to get into, you got to take care of business in this game. So let's go in, take care of business, get out healthy, get home, move on to the game that matters. So speaking of that game that matters, we're going to move into that a little bit, which we talked about. The Browns players aren't allowed to look forward. We're allowed to look forward. Obviously,
we haven't been able to before.
Anybody who's a fan of the Browns knows that the Steelers at this point in the season blow. They blow hard. They suck. And they've opened the door wide open for us to win the AFC North. So there's a very real chance they lose to the Colts this week. We beat the Jets. And next week against the Steelers is basically an AFC North championship game.
Oh, by the way, our Christmas gift to Cincinnati is in the mail.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, it is Juju's dance video.
I saw. Yeah, shout out Von Bell, Ohio State.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Good for you. And that was awesome.
I actually saw on Twitter this Cleveland guy drove to Cincinnati
with the chili.
4 hours with a can of Southway chili. Stood outside the Bengals stadium and just thanked the Bengals while drinking chili out of a can.
Yeah.
And I was like, my dog.
Yeah, he is very
Let's get
much
that
a
guy
dog.
a T-shirt.
We need to get him on the show.
Yeah, him and his chili.
Yeah, that was awesome. But so huge shout out to the Bengals, the Steelers.
Man, they're going downhill.
Fast.
I watched that. I watched the first half of that game. They are garbage on offense. I still think their defense, even with the injuries, is still. I won't call them. They might not be elite. That's still a very solid defense. TJ Watt's still unblockable.
Yeah.
Minka Fitzpatrick is still intercepts passes.
Yes.
That's still a very solid defense. It's going to be, I think, the toughest defense we've played in a month when we play them next week. So I'm interested to see if we can still score. But man, their offense is bad. Big Ben is done.
Yeah, and he wants to come back next year.
Well, and the thing is, I think he'll probably be okay next year for the first half of the season.
Yeah,
that arm just can't go 16 games plus.
The Steelers are screwed with Big Ben. He's a $40 million cap hit on them next year. So it's either move on from him next year and they take the $40 million cap hit, or if they want to reduce that cap hit, they have to extend him. Are you extending Ben Roethlisberger? I don't even know if I want him back next year. Now, long 2-3 years from now.
Yeah, I don't know. He can't lead your. I know that their running game is terrible.
Yeah,
they have no running game. But Big Ben can't, at this stage in his career, lead the NFL in pass attempts. I mean, that's too much on a guy who, like you said, can't. It's like almost like the same thing as a Drew Brees situation. Just can't push the ball downfield. So what do defenses do?
They're
not afraid of that deep ball. So they're they're shortening the field.
Yep.
Zach, your wife said they don't want Big Ben back.
Oh, trust me. So my wife in the NFL draft, she's done because she had to live through last year, which was kind of like a Cleveland situation of who they had at quarterback. So she 100% wanted Jalen Hurts last year, and man, what if they had drafted him? They would have had the opportunity.
Dangerous.
Could you imagine if they had drafted Jalen Hurts? She wanted Jalen Hurts in the draft every time. When do the Steelers pick next?
He's on the better Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania team.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, like in the draft with the Steelers, is they're going to have to either focus hardcore on getting that running game back up to Pittsburgh standards, or they need to do what Kansas City did back when they took Mahomes, trade up.
Guys, let's not
Get
pretend
up there,
like
get your quarterback.
that they won't absolutely hit home runs in the draft.
Right.
Let's not act like they won't absolutely. I've never once watched a Pittsburgh draft and went, that was a terrible pick. Not one time in my entire life.
Now-
they all absolutely nail every pick.
Right, except they passed over a certain guy this year that I don't think that they should have passed over. A certain J.K. Dobbins could be a Pittsburgh Steeler. But
I was
instead,
shocked.
I thought for sure
he's
that was
a
going to happen.
Baltimore Raven.
Yeah.
So, but I agree. I mean, they produce wide receivers like crazy.
Yeah.
You look around in the NFL, so many guys who started in Pittsburgh. Now, Juju hasn't been he hit, but he's not a number one.
I saw a stat. I haven't confirmed that he hasn't had a 100-yard game since AB left.
He hasn't.
But that,
He's had more TikTok. He's posted 100 TikTok videos, though. I can guarantee you.
I hate this new age, like TikTok. I don't even care if I play good anymore. I just got to get my likes and my shares. Like, we'll see how many likes and shares you're getting when you're out of the NFL because you're a bum.
I mean, he can play. He can play on it. He can start in the NFL, man. Let's not. But
yeah, I just don't. He's just not your number one guy.
Correct. Right.
And not with. And maybe it's Big Ben. Maybe it's
Yeah, but last year it was maybe it's Mason Rudolph, and now it's maybe
well,
it's
it definitely
Big Ben.
was some Mason Rudolph.
and some
It was
Duck.
definitely some of him and some Duck.
Well,
I mean,
I would be very, very surprised if now is the game in Indy or is it in Pittsburgh? Do we know that? I don't.
This game is in Pittsburgh.
Okay, I was gonna say I would be very, very surprised if Tomlin doesn't go and talk to him this week and go, "Hey, listen, man." I
already
feel
did.
like
He said he's
I was
going
gonna
to
say I
today.
feel like you're maybe costing us.
Because Juju came out today. I saw the post,
Yeah.
and he said that in order to better myself and my teammates, I will stop doing the dancing on logo videos.
Yeah, which you're giving the other team.
Dude,
I mean, you're giving a 2-10.
I said that's
game.
a bad look.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're not playing at an elite
No.
level.
Well, do you remember the TO dancing on the star? They almost
that
killed
was-
him.
Yeah,
and they almost killed
was
him.
it Roy Williams?
Yeah.
They came out and just
destroyed
blew him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, that's what was-
I'm pretty sure if I'd have to go back and look, Juju was going to do that touchdown celebration when they played Dallas this year. I just don't think he ever got a touchdown.
You're
I don't think he
right.
got a
I remember
touchdown.
that.
He
That
said that
would've
he was
been-
going to go and do that.
That would have been
Dude,
a bad call.
watching Juju get blown up
by Von Bell.
and
That was
fumbling
awesome.
that ball. I
That
mean,
was
it was
awesome.
just like, there you go.
I just went,
Get off TikTok, and you need to focus on this game.
Yep.
Which that's what the Browns are doing.
Yep.
Yep.
So, I mean, going into this week, hopefully take care of business. Then we have a fun week preparing for that one. But there's a lot of things. Hopefully we are clinched in the playoffs, I'm hoping, after this week.
Yes.
And that game still means something.
Yes.
So if that means, New England's got to somehow beat Josh Allen, all right, or something like that's got to happen, that'd be nice.
I'll be reporting live for the Dogs at that game also.
Nice.
So I wanted to throw this hypothetical out for you guys.
Oh God.
Would you rather the Steelers beat the Colts this week? We beat the Jets. That way next week is basically an AFC championship. Winner takes the AFC North. But if we lose that game, there's a potential we don't even make the playoffs. Or would you rather just the Colts come out, or the Steelers, or the Colts need to beat the Steelers this week. We plan for the AFC championship next week. But if we lose, might not make the playoffs. Or would you rather the Steelers just beat the Colts and we clinch this week and doesn't matter what we do?
I want to be in the playoffs. I don't care. To me, winning the division would be great. But to just know that we're in and we're playing, in that week 17, that's where I want to be. I'd rather make the playoffs and lose out on the division, especially because if you win the division, you're that 2-3. I wouldn't want to play Baltimore right now, and that's where you're looking like that you might play. So I'd rather play a Titans or a Colts that we've already played in that 5 spot rather than playing a hot Baltimore team who we haven't beaten this year.
What really sucks too is in years past, if we won the AFC North at 12-4, we'd probably be the 2 seed, and we'd have a bye.
and
But this year we don't get a
No bye.
I'm with Zach. I want to win the AFC North so bad. I think it would be awesome to beat Pittsburgh in the last week to take it from them when they started 11-0. And all I had to hear was, we're 8-0, we're 9-0,
Yeah.
we're 10. Well,
Steeler
guess
Nation's
what?
very quiet right
Yeah,
now.
now you're
I don't hear
11-3, and you look like garbage.
Right.
So
They know it.
I would love for that, but I just want to be in the playoffs. I do not want to go 11-5 and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, and there's a scenario, we've played it out. We're not going to talk about it because it's not going to happen. So, but where the Browns could do that, they could go 11-5 and not get in.
It's very real.
For
It's
the
a very real possibility.
18th straight year.
I'm going to jump on the other side of you guys because no, let's go, Indy. Take them down. Seriously, Indy, take them down. The skid continues, and then they're just going to be sitting there for us in Week 17. I mean, I don't think they stand a chance. I really don't.
They're very
Stop us.
they're
Stop this
very-
Cleveland Browns offense now. And the first time we played them, the first part of the game, their offense didn't look that great against us anyway.
That's correct.
And maybe it's because of my hatred for the Indianapolis Colts of why I feel the way I do.
Yeah, I just want to be. I 100% think we're smacking them in Week 17, and I hope we show no mercy. I hope we just drill them. Their defense still makes me nervous because they still have some playmakers on defense. But ask me if I'm more nervous about Pittsburgh offense or the Jets offense. Because Sam Darnold can throw the ball better than Big Ben.
Yeah.
And all these weapons on the outside for Pittsburgh, that don't mean anything when Big Ben just catching the ball and throwing it to him within 2 seconds, and they're a foot off the. Our guys can just sit. Even Sendejo can sit on a route.
Right. So now I am going to say that obviously Big Ben's been limited in what he can do, but Cincinnati played a heck of a game.
Absolutely.
You know, they came in, they didn't come in as your 2-10 team just showing up. Like, they came in and said, we're beating you. And obviously, the offense.
Finley.
Yeah. But hey, Finley with the read option and stuff, they got him involved.
Did he have 89 yards
Yes,
passing?
that's what I was just going to say. Like, as much as, I give the Bengals credit. They play tough. They look like they were hitting hard. They were playing hard.
And they could have more wins than what they have, really. If Burrow was still there.
I'm going to say right now that if Pittsburgh doesn't turn the ball over the way they did,
right,
they don't lose that game.
Well,
I think Pittsburgh beat themselves. You know what I'm saying? Which is still good.
So I don't know how many turnovers that they had. Three turnovers? 2 or 3 turnovers that they ended up having. And it could have been 5 or 6. I mean, Big Ben threw some passes that he hit the defense right in the hands and they dropped it. So they could have had more turnovers and it could have been uglier than what it was.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting these last 2 weeks.
Ben was trying to throw picks. I mean, oh my gosh, some of those DB. I mean, the one, who was it? I forget who it was. The Bengals guy went right through his hands.
Yeah.
It was wide. It was like Ben was throwing to him.
Maybe he needs bifocals too or something. Yeah. He's getting up there in age.
And they've been playing weeks. They've been playing for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Good for them. I'm happy about it. Couldn't happen to a nicer team, nicer fan base.
Yeah.
Sorry, Caleb.
You guys are super humble. Very, very humble fan base in Pittsburgh.
So I can't wait till we beat them Week 17 for the AFC North, and they can tell me all about their 6 rings.
Yeah.
So, stick a fork in them. They're done. We'll see you guys next week, Week 17, after we take care of business. So that was a little fun talking playoff scenario. Now we're going to move on here, review our game picks. I don't think I had a very good week.
No, yeah, you didn't have a very good week, Blake. You came in last place.
I'd had a couple good weeks in a row.
9-7. Vegas let you down. 49ers let us all down. You picked the football team over Seattle.
Which if Alex Smith starts that game, they win that game.
So you lost that one. Josh, you lost a game by yourself. You took the Vikings. And then Blake, you picked New England over Miami, so you lost that one. You and Josh doubled up, both lost the Philly-Arizona matchup, which that was a great game.
Oh. Yes.
That was a very good game. And then we all lost the Rams. We all lost Pittsburgh. So we have myself led the week, 13-3. Justin, 12-4.
There it is.
Josh, 11-5. And Blake, 9-7. So total records going into week 16, we have, or week 15, sorry. We have...
No, this is week 16.
This is 16.
Oh, yeah, week 16, 15th game. Gotcha. Yeah. All right, so I'm in the lead, 147-61. I have a 5-game lead on Josh at 142 wins. Blake, you'd be in third place, 7 games back of Josh at 135. Justin, you're 3 games back of Blake, 132.
Okay.
So you're reigning in that
Look
third
at us,
place.
though.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're all sitting at like a 700 win percentage.
Now, what's funny is kind of like I feel like at the beginning of the season we were a little more accurate consistently.
We're starting to get to like the upsets. There's injuries. It's getting harder to pick, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll go into the first game here on Friday, Christmas Day.
Christmas Day game.
We have Minnesota at New Orleans.
I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah.
I'll take the Saints, but man, Drew Brees, I was waiting for him to just pull himself because he needed to.
I think Rex Ryan said it best. He needed to play and he needed to get hit.
Yep.
And he did.
You know what I mean? And so I think he's gonna be fine.
Oh, I think he will too. I'm just saying in that game because I think they had a shot to win. I think they probably should have just said, "Hey, you're our guy, but we want to win."
I think he gives them the best chance to win that game.
Yeah, so Justin, who you taking?
I'm taking Saints.
Saints. I'm taking the Vikings in this game.
Oh.
I'm taking Dalvin Cook and the Vikings on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Zach's just got that lead. He's ready to give it back up.
Oh, hey, I've had the lead now for a while. So, I'm just going to gain another game on you guys because I'm taking the Vikings at New Orleans. I'm taking them. Okay, so that'll move us into 3 Saturday games. We got Tampa Bay at Detroit.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I still don't love
Bay,
them.
but yeah, hey, they're so talented at almost every position, but they were on the ropes this week.
They're saying Detroit has so many COVID cases right now, they don't even know who's going to coach the team.
Yeah, everybody.
Wow.
So
I might get to coach. I got some coaching experience under the belt. Maybe I'll go up and call plays.
Yeah, I coach an 8th grade girls basketball team right now. So, okay, so we'll go into San Fran at Arizona. Mostert put on IR, done for the season.
Why wouldn't he be?
Yep. Same with Debo. Debo's out for the season too.
Yeah,
but Kittle might play.
They're debating between Mullins and Beathard, and they just signed Josh Rosen, so definitely give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going Cardinals here as well.
I'm also going Cardinals. Yep.
So I said I would never pick the Cardinals again.
But you're doing it, aren't you?
I'm in 3rd place. Give me the Niners.
Oh.
Wow.
They scorned me one too many times. I told you guys I'm a man of my word.
I already put Arizona in for you because I figured you'd go that way.
No, I'm a man of my word.
All right, you want to take over last place? That's fine.
Thank you.
Miami at Vegas. Huge implications for the Browns here in this game. I'll start us off. I'm taking the Raiders at home.
Awesome, man. I am going to take Miami.
The defense is too good. I'm taking Miami. Although I hope the Vegas wins.
Zach, give me Las Vegas because I feel like this is the exact type of game that they win.
Yeah, and this game here, okay, so Mariota's starting. And everything that I keep reading about reports is John Gruden brought Marcus in. That's the guy that he wants. That he was never sold on Derek Carr as being his quarterback and his type of offense that he wants to run. So I'm taking Vegas.
Another big Darren Waller game, you're saying?
Oh, yeah, I hope not.
Oh, I hope so.
I got destroyed by Waller last week, and I get to play him against Justin this week. So we'll go into our games here on Sunday. Carolina at football team. I'll take the football team.
Football team. Dwayne Haskins. Am I allowed to say dumb A on this program? Because
you're not allowed to say
he is.
What's he doing
moron.
after? Yeah, he's doing
He's a dumb.
Stop, guys.
Big old
stop.
dumb.
He's like 22, 23 years old.
Come on, man.
We all made those mistakes, except I also was not wearing a mask back when I was 22 or 23. Give the guy a little slack.
Yeah, but you also weren't leading a national football.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
Did you see? Okay, so they came out today and said that he has been stripped of his captain status on the team, which I was like, why was he a captain to begin with?
I mean,
the most shocking part
he
of
wasn't
that.
even at the club. He was at a hotel. Come on,
this
guys.
isn't like even though the first time though. I mean, he was over getting pictures.
Yeah.
We're gonna go take a knee.
That's the thing. He's a total idiot, and and I mean, come on, he's from Ohio State, so I mean, we all like. I want him to succeed, but I just watch him like he'll never succeed. He's too stupid. He's not that great. Yeah, he was a captain.
That was a big mistake.
And you got fined $40,000.
You going Carolina?
I'll take the WFTs.
WFT.
Yeah.
Josh?
No, I'm taking the Panthers. I don't know who's playing quarterback in this game. They said maybe Alex Smith, maybe somebody else.
No, they said Dwayne's going to start.
I'm picking more the Washington football team's defense.
Yes.
So, okay, take us into game that we just kind of previewed how big it was. Indianapolis at Pittsburgh.
Colts defense is so good, and the Steelers offense is so bad. I can't, this might be a rout.
Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, I got to take the Colts.
Justin?
I'll do it for the Colts fans.
You know what's great about this game? This is win-win for us. Steelers beat the Colts. We're in the playoffs. Steelers lose the Colts. We're going to spank them next week, win the division. This is win-win.
God.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
So, I'm taking Pittsburgh in this game. I'm taking Pittsburgh at home. I think they get stuff figured out. I think it's a 20-17 type of game that's close, but I'm taking Pittsburgh at home.
He's just saying that so he can get in his house tonight.
Yeah, no, well, they're playing Indianapolis, all right? So I don't pick the Colts, rarely ever.
You have a house key, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Who
So,
cares then? Make that pick.
Yeah,
You're
so
good.
I'm taking Pittsburgh in this game. I really believe they're going to win. Atlanta at Kansas City next game. I'll take the Chiefs to start us off.
Chiefs.
Wow, what a dangerous pick there, man. I also take the Chiefs.
I'll give you Atlanta and 7 points.
Nope, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Okay, we'll keep moving. Chicago at Jacksonville.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah, Bears.
Chicago playing
Trubisky's
well.
starting to figure it out.
He always had it figured out. Really, I mean, sometimes he couldn't throw the football, but the guy's got a great
He has
record.
a higher winning percentage than Deshaun Watson.
That's crazy.
Now he's got a great defense.
Better defense, right?
Yeah, great defense, but he's got some weapons.
He's playing well a lot since he came back.
Yeah.
He really is.
The guy wasn't playing bad when they benched him. He was 2-1. They were down at halftime to the Falcons, but who isn't?
They're giving him. They're giving
Everybody. And then they lose.
They're giving them things to think about.
Yeah. Okay, so that'll move us into Cincinnati coming off a big win, taking on Houston, team you just talked about with Deshaun Watson.
Houston. Love you, Bengals. Thanks for Monday night, but sorry.
I'm going to take Houston as well. I just think that Deshaun Watson will be a little bit too much.
He can actually throw the ball.
But
so.
I think it will be closer. I think that Zach Taylor down there in Cincinnati is actually not a bad coach. I wasn't sold on him at first, but he does have some things, going. They're just depleted with injuries.
I'm taking Texans, though.
Okay, so that'll take us to the G-Men take on the Ravens at Baltimore.
Ravens.
Oh, how awesome would it be if the Giants just
Knocked them out of the
shocked them?
playoffs.
Yep.
But I think
it would be nice.
I think the Ravens win this game kind of
Yeah, Ravens.
Yep, I'm taking Ravens as well. So we'll skip over the Browns Jets. Let's go Denver at Chargers with Herbert.
Chargers.
They just got done playing a couple weeks ago.
Chargers.
Chargers should have won that game. Drew Lock, remember, went off
Yep.
and threw that touchdown with no time on the clock.
I don't bank on that happening often. Drew Lock having a good game? No.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers as well.
Herbert's the truth.
So that's Chargers across the board. Kind of an interesting game here. Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys.
Ugh.
Tough kind of pick 'em game here.
Give me the Eagles because Hurts is playing well. He seems he's like inspired the whole team.
If Zeke's not playing this week, I think that makes a difference because he's taking the ball out of Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is explosive when he gets the ball.
Yep.
And hopefully Zeke's benched because Tony Pollard will be in my starting lineup against Justin Charles this week.
Yes. Yeah, he absolutely will be. I'm sure. But I did see that Zeke might play, so I will take Philadelphia because I don't know. I mean, both these teams aren't very good. I don't know.
Josh, you said you were never picking the Eagles, but
Man, so Philly, Hurts looks great, but he's still got nobody to throw to.
right.
And Dallas does. Ugh. Give me Dallas at home.
I'm going to go Dallas with you because I think that they're going to be able to get after the quarterback a little bit. And Jalen really hasn't had to face any pressure yet this year. So
Dallas' defense is so good.
their defensive front.
They looked all right against San Francisco.
Yeah,
They're
so
just
I'm
depleted.
gonna take Dallas in this game with Josh. So we split there. Okay, Los Angeles Rams coming off a loss at Seattle.
Give me Seattle.
I'll take the Rams.
This is another one that's like, ugh.
Some playoff implications here.
Yeah.
This one.
I'll take Seattle.
I can easily see this going either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes either way. I'm going to go with the Rams as well. I think that they're going to come in fired up off a loss, knowing that they need to get a win, and it kind of erases that loss if they can come out here and get this big win over Seattle. Let's go Tennessee at Green Bay. Probably one of my favorite games of the week.
So I'm going to go Tennessee because the kryptonite of Green Bay the last couple
to run the
seasons is
ball.
a strong run game,
Yeah.
and Titans got a strong run game.
Man, and what's so underrated is who the Tennessee Titans have in the passing game. You know, so underrated. You got Jonnu Smith, really good tight end. You know, a really good tight end. A.J. Brown, Corey Davis.
I know you guys gave me a lot of crap about Corey Davis. I'm
Oh,
still
here
not
we
saying
go.
Corey Davis is better than Brown, but if you pull up their fantasy stats,
They're pretty even.
they're almost exactly even.
I'm rolling with Davis. I know. I'm good with Davis.
Yeah.
Davis is almost exactly even with Brown.
Yeah, so, man. I
I'm
don't know.
taking Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Packers.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Titans.
I think
just think
Derrick
that they're
Henry
going to.
has like 200 yards this game,
Yeah,
That,
and Aaron Rodgers isn't even on the field.
you think Josh Norman feels better about things?
maybe.
No,
That he's not the only one.
I think that one was even filthier. I
no,
That was
no.
nasty.
It was Josh Norman one.
Dude.
He shoved him. He made an indent in the earth.
he
Josh
did that.
Norman.
He did that this past
He like
weekend
picked
too.
him up in the Josh Norman one. Plus, Josh Norman's a bum.
I would.
Okay, so that'll be a fun game to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That takes us in. Blake, these guys have a great faith in a Mike Pettin defense. We don't, so we're on the same page there. Okay, so we got Buffalo at New England. At New England on Monday Night Football.
Buffalo.
I think that they played once already this year. It was kind of close for most of the game. Then the Bills kind of pulled ahead at the end. I think it's kind of the same story in this game. I'm taking Buffalo, but I think Belichick keeps it close.
No, I'm going to say Buffalo, and I don't think it's going to be close, personally, because Josh Allen looks like he's doing what Baker Mayfield's doing. It's just ripping it, just letting loose. And I mean, what are the Patriots going to do on offense? How do you score?
You don't.
Who scores?
Right?
Cam
It's
Newton's
true.
not-
Cam's saying he's still got a lot in the tank. I
He might have a lot in the
Not
tank,
in
but
his,
not in his arm.
Yeah,
I
that
saw,
that robotic arm he's got now.
I saw on Get Up this morning. They're predicting that Matthew Stafford plays for the Patriots next year.
I could see that.
Oh my goodness.
Matt Stafford's going to play somewhere else next year.
I
He's
agree.
almost got to. I feel
Yeah.
kind of bad for him that he's been in Detroit
Right.
his whole career. Now, he had Calvin Johnson when he first started out so man.
There's going to be new head coach, new system, new regime.
A
new
month ago, I
quarterback.
wanted it to be Cleveland, but now not so
Hey,
much.
remember you wanted Minshew, you wanted Stafford, you wanted Matt Ryan, you wanted all these guys over Baker.
Mm-hmm.
So you just sit over there and shut up. So let's Justin, who you got?
I got Buffalo.
You got Buffalo.
Yeah.
By the way, let's throw some respect on Cole Beasley's name. The guy's got 1,000 yards receiving this year.
When we gave him so much
Crispy
crap.
route runner.
Yeah.
Crispy route runner.
Okay, so that takes us to Cleveland at the Jets. What do we got?
I think this is.
Give me your winner, obviously.
The Browns.
You're picking the Browns, but what's the score? How bad does it get?
I think this could get ugly for us if we come out and play the way I think we should play. I think we're going to win. I see us scoring 40. I see us being like a 40-12 or 10 game. 40-12, 40-10, 42-10, 45-8.
Bro, what is
45-8, man. It just keeps going up.
56-7.
They're scoring as he's talking. You're like, oh, there's another touchdown.
I'm going to pick Cleveland as well. I think that it is high scoring. I'm going to go 38-13.
63-9.
Josh, what do you got?
I'm going to go Jets lose.
I was going to say,
30.
take that pause out of there.
I'm going to go 36-6.
All right?
Wow.
And,
Yeah.
All right, so Justin, you got the last pick. You get to go.
I'm going to go Cleveland, and I'm going to go Cleveland dominant win 35-17.
35-17.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah, I think this is a game we can. We just got to come out, have a strong first half, and then just kind of, just take care of business, keep everybody healthy. Then we can move on to
Maybe
the
get
next.
up big, start getting Whatnot Johnson the ball, let our running back
Yeah, a little bit of Whatnot.
Yeah, I saw a little whatnot.
Yeah.
So I agree.
So that wraps it up.
All right, we'll see how we do next week. Let's wrap this thing up. Thanks for checking out another episode of The Dogs, especially everybody who's watching live. We really appreciate it. Anybody who shared the episode, we appreciate that a lot also. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, obviously. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Again, don't forget to check out Thrive Fantasy this week. Use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS. Get your 100% match when you deposit $20 or more, all the way up to $50. Have a good Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy holidays,
Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever it
Yes.
is you guys are celebrating out there. Have a good, fun, safe holiday. I know I'm excited for Santa to come, so I'll be telling you guys what he got me. I was a good boy this year. So,
I don't believe it.
I
yeah.
also I don't believe that at all.
So everybody have a good holiday. We'll catch you guys back here next week when we review this Jets game, preview the huge Week 17 matchup with the floundering Steelers.
Yep, and I'll be talking about my victory in fantasy football over Zach Kopp.
Yeah, so tune in next week. It'll be a big week. Have a good holiday, everybody.